Hi, I'm King Yu.
I'm Amanda and welcome back to Truffle Thoughts.
The two of us work 9 to 6 jobs, so we aren't strangers to like the hustle culture that is part of 5 days per week.
Yeah, and we are big believers in work-life balance now, but that wasn't always the case.
Yeah, we were like quite notorious workaholics when we first started out.
Yeah, and it's no surprise, I guess, because words like girl boss, hustle culture are like a big part of our culture and our lives. So
Yeah, and we do see like terms like hustle culture and lazy girl era, lazy girl jobs trending. So that's what we're gonna talk about today.
So what is a girl boss? Merriam-Webster defines the girl boss as an ambitious and successful woman, especially a businesswoman or entrepreneur. The phrase girl boss was coined by Sophia Amoruso, the founder of fast fashion retail site lazygirl. Sophia published her book #girlboss in the 2010s, which describes that Sophia was never a typical CEO or a typical anything, and she's written #girlboss for other girls like her, outsiders and insiders seeking a unique path to success, even when that path is windy as all hell and lined with naysayers. The girl boss movement led to a surge in articles which defined the girl boss with various traits such as have ambition and always set and re-evaluate goals. Be confident in yourself and your abilities. Know that your only competition is the reflection in the mirror. Both of us were in high school during the peak of the girl boss movement, which happened in the 2010s, but we can understand the appeal a bit. We all know that women face innumerable setbacks in the workplace and in society as a whole, so it must have been really refreshing for working women at the time to have such a movement that really empowered women to actually, prioritize themselves and their careers. But somewhere down the line, the perception of the girl boss shifted from feminist icon to capitalist monster. And this was brought on by a series of exposés on corporate women leaders who were described as just another white woman co-opting empowerment and feminism for profit with no intention of lifting anyone else up. Some were even revealed to have histories of bullying, cruelty, and overworked and underappreciated staff. So what were the results of these stories? A negative perception of women leaders in the workplace. Urban Dictionary's top light definition of girl boss is to make something or someone appear as a feminist idol or inspiration for profit, despite the numerous flaws of the person. And I'm sure you remember how rampant the 2010s were with rom-coms and coming-of-age movies featuring uptight female bosses, like The Proposal, Devil Wears Prada, and the million Hallmark movies featuring city girls going back to their hometown and falling in love with small-town boys. We see this format so much on TikTok, it's really funny.
I always thought I was meant to live in the city until I realized where my real home is, right here. Then stay, Anna. Home for Christmas coming soon.
Despite all this, we still see the phrase gaslight, gatekeep, girl boss floating all over the internet. And this phrase is actually a play on our standard live, laugh, love, but we can't help noticing that the word girl boss is being associated with two other G's, gaslight and gatekeep, that have very negative connotations. There are plenty of accounts online like @girlboss on Instagram that post videos and pictures about women and, as they say in their bio, having success on your terms. I have issues with the use of the word girl in phrases like corporate girly, girl boss, and girl power, because to me, why do we need to genderize ambition? It's kind of like how we genderize girl dinner, and this was something that didn't need to be genderized. It was just something that existed. It didn't need a label, girl something. I know it sounds really cute and really quirky, as though we have our own special club as women in the workplace, but I also think that we can uplift women in the workplace without having to label ourselves as girl bosses. We can just be bosses. I also believe that we can empower women without bringing down men. This brings me back to my point on the TV shows and the movies featuring corporate female leaders, and we see that quite a lot of them feature female leaders who are encouraging toxicity in the workplace or just master manipulators in general.
By all means, move at a glacial pace. You know how that thrills me.
I guess in hindsight, it felt like these fictional women were very relatable, or in a way our role models, because they were somehow helping us to exact revenge on fictional representations of men who maybe have put us down at the workplace in our past.
I didn't fire you because I feel threatened. No, I fired you because you're lazy, entitled, incompetent, and you spend more time cheating on your wife than you do in your office.
Yes, we've all encountered male chauvinists in our lives, But that doesn't mean all men deserve hate, and that doesn't mean that men should be treated as lesser than women. And yes, some of the traits of a girl boss are very feminist, but I also think that some people forget that feminism is about encouraging equality, not about female superiority. The rise and fall of the girl boss movement is very reminiscent of yet another invention of capitalism, hustle culture. Every 10 years or so, we have a new buzzword that encourages ambition, but a lot of them are actually very deeply rooted in capitalism. Medium describes hustle culture as being all about constantly working. Those who hustle attempt to devote as many hours as possible to work. When I think of hustle culture, I think about monetizing your hobbies or turning your passion into a project. We see this very often in the content creation space, like trufflethoughts. We have a passion for talking about like social media, entertainment, cultural trends. So we turned that passion into a project. We see this a lot in the content creation space because it's so much easier than ever before to just pick up your phone and film content. There have also been a rise in the gig or freelancing economy. Like if you search up freelance jobs or side hustles on TikTok, you'll find a ton of different apps or websites or people promoting ways that you can actually make side incomes or have like different side hustles that are very easy, supposedly. Entrepreneurship is also easier than before because we are granted easy access to look up for end-to-end resources online, like sourcing manufacturers, setting up an e-commerce platform, or learning how to set up paid ads. But there are downsides to hustle culture from a societal perspective. For one, it's inevitable for us to fall prey to social comparison. Most of us have an online presence where we curate our own profiles to share our success stories or just show only what we want people to see. And no, I'm not just talking about those self-aggrandizing LinkedIn posts that we've all shared before. I think you said you've not actually shared before, but I've definitely shared these kind of posts before.
Guilty of it.
Insert picture here. I've noticed a trend of small businesses or maybe even bigger businesses posting behind the scenes of their businesses or even talking about how they built their empire from the ground up. Power to them because they totally deserve to celebrate all their victories, they work very hard. But maybe in reality, all we are seeing is just what they want us to see. We are only seeing the success stories of the 1% and not the stories of the 99% who fail. We may end up thinking that having a side hustle is so easy, or like, oh, since everyone is having a side hustle, then maybe I should too. Another issue with hustle culture is that if not kept in check, can result in things like burnout and workaholism or worse. In Japan, karoshi, which means death by overwork, is very common, where people may even work 60 to 70 hours per week. This has led to death by heart attack, stroke, suicide, and so on. Aside from that, we also see business owners posting online about how they struggle with stuff like long hours, burnout, and social isolation. So as much as they love what they're doing, it's not actually that easy or glamorous. There are also economical reasons as to why people may have multiple streams of income. Warning, you're going to hear our new favorite word, privilege, again. The two of us are very lucky because we both have full-time jobs that allow us to live comfortably, and we also have the time and resources to dedicate to our passion project, Truffle Thoughts. For some, having multiple side hustles has very little to do with diversifying their streams of income and a lot more to do with income disparity. Some groups are more susceptible to financial insecurity and have to battle rising cost of living by having multiple jobs. Others may be earning minimum wage or below, and so they have to find other sources of income aside from their 9 to 6 jobs. To these people, hustle culture is a lot less of a glamorous endeavor to get onto Forbes 30 under 30 and more of a means to survive. So in short, the rise and grind culture is a lot more than just a money-making trend for some.
Remember when I said that one of my New Year's resolution was to start a side hustle in the video previously before this?
Trying to find another source of income, which I need to remind myself constantly because this boring thing is always part of my New Year's resolution every year. But yeah.
So I actually did start researching to find a suitable one, and my FYP was filled with videos like here's 5 side hustles to help you earn 50k in a week, or how you can earn from $0 to 100k in a week. And the most popular ones were affiliate marketing and dropshipping, as it had lower barriers of entry, promising high returns. So I started digging more into affiliate marketing specifically, and I started noticing a certain theme across all posts where someone would share their lavish lifestyle, and the call to action would be if you want to work while traveling, or if you hate your job, or if you want to earn a passive income. Click on my link to learn how you can elevate your lifestyle with this affiliate marketing guide. And then you watch a video guide telling a very inspiring story, saying how they found like a secret formula to success, which is high affiliate marketing. And they say like it's different from any other courses out there because this course requires hard work and it's not a get rich quick scheme. But the post promoting it says that it's an easy way to earn a passive income. So I don't know, some kind of like discrepancy right there. But anyways, back to the course. For $10, you will earn your first commission in 2 weeks if you follow these steps. And once you buy the $10 program, they will upsell you with another course for $3K. So I was like, this sounds kind of sketchy. So I looked at the comments of the affiliate marketer promoting this certain course and saw that the most supportive, like really supportive people commenting about how this course changed their lives and were really good were also affiliate marketers promoting that very same course. That's when I suspected that basically when you buy into this $10 course or $3K course, the key takeaway is to sell this course to earn a high commission as it's a high ticket affiliate marketing. So essentially it's a confederacy of course sellers.
A confederacy of elected quitters.
So I know that these are real people trying to hustle and earn an income, and I'm not disrespecting their work. It's just that I felt a bit sus when I noticed that their main selling item is to sell the course, the very same course. And the course promoting high ticket affiliate marketing claims that the same amount of effort and work is needed to close a high ticket deal and a low ticket deal, which is quite misleading, I think, because obviously to close a $3 deal versus a $3K deal is way harder, as a $3K deal would require lots of pitching, trust, and a huge follower base who actually look up to you for advices or see you as a prominent figure. So it is a lot harder to secure that one big deal. There's also dropshipping, which has valid criticism as it creates this perpetual cycle of exploitation and consumerism, but I won't go into too much detail because I feel like it needs a whole another episode to cover. But overall, how I feel about this side hustle culture is that I started feeling very guilty if I could not find a side hustle to keep my time productive. But then I was thinking like, why am I trying so hard to make my time productive and work non-stop? Because finding a sustainable side hustle that aligns with my ethics takes a lot of time and effort. So I don't know, I feel it's like another topic for another video. From the girl boss era, we have now entered the lazy girl era, which is a fight back against the hustle culture that the movement stood for. The lazy girl era was a trend started on TikTok when this creator posted a video saying all she does is copy and paste the same emails, take long breaks while getting a good pay, which then got lots of people sharing their own lazy girl jobs or tips on how to land a lazy job. So how do we get here? How do we get from hustling to dusting to rusting? Trying to find words that rhyme with hustling. What are you doing? Oh, that rhyme. I think there's two reasons. One is the reality check of pursuing your dreams, your passion, and the shift in workplace attitude after the pandemic. Let me explain the first reason. Most of us, Gen Z and millennials, were brought up with the idea that you should pursue your passion and do what you love because you won't be working a day if it's something that you love to do. And in the 2000s, we saw many giant tech entrepreneurs hustling and advocating for you to follow your dream or pursue your passion at the expense of other people, but we didn't know that at that time because their story mainly centered on surface motivating messages like you gotta sacrifice to do what you love. But then if you read deeper into it, their sacrifice is failing to be a good, present, caring parent, but that can't be detailed out in their story, or else how are we gonna support their multi-million business? There were also many articles with the headlines, successful entrepreneurs who dropped out of college, but then you realize these dropouts dropped out from Ivy League universities like Harvard and had the safety blanket in the form of money to do so. So this facade of following your dreams or passion kind of fell off in this generation as we realized, one, you need lots of financial support, or you need to sacrifice time spent with loved ones and your leisure time, or sometimes sacrifice your own personal ethics, or it can also lead to multiple breakdowns and burnouts. Not to say that you shouldn't pursue your dreams or follow your passion, because I think we have seen so many people who have turned their hobbies like pottery and content creation into full-time successful careers. But for those of us who can't or have not found our passion, the main motivation to do well in a job is to gain experience and network so we can advance further and keep up with inflation while also maintaining a good work-life balance. But sometimes in a corporate job, it's hard to maintain that work-life balance as it's skewed towards work, expect more. So in comes lazy girl jobs as like the perfect solution to enjoy the life aspect more while also earning a decent pay. The second reason is the shift in workplace attitude as a result of the pandemic. Once COVID restrictions lightened, the Great Resignation happened as many who delayed their resignation due to job security reasons resigned later on once better opportunities arrived. And then came the retrenchment around 2022-2023, where companies that thrived during the COVID started to lay employees off to cut costs as they hired massively to cope with the surge in demand during COVID. And in response to that, the workplace started to quiet quit, which is when an employee does not go the extra mile by taking up extra projects, working overtime, and only doing the minimum effort to keep their job as per what was agreed on their job scope. As many people were left feeling unmotivated as working hard reaped little rewards or were given more work or a retrenchment notice instead, along with a desire to not allow work to consume their entire life. Or the other response is to be in your lazy girl era, as lazy girl jobs are fairly quite easy to do versus quiet quitting, which could be considered difficult and easy task. It's just that it's the reluctance to go beyond your job scope. Regardless, both signifies the demand for change in the workplace, where employees are still able to perform well but not at the expense of their own personal lives.
As much as we seem like we are anti-capitalist and talk a lot about the downsides of hustle culture and capitalism, you gotta admit that there are some benefits to this system existing.
Personally, I feel like there's nothing wrong if you're in your girl boss era or in your lazy girl era, as long as you don't enforce it on anyone.
If you're a girl boss or just someone who's very dedicated to your career, good for you. Just don't expect other people to be as committed as you are and learn to respect their boundaries.
And if you're in your lazy girl job, just think twice before you post about your job, because your boss may see it, which would affect your career in the company.
Also, don't shame the people who work really hard, because we've seen a bunch of videos or comments on TikTok of people saying that, oh, working hard is so cringe, right? Why would you do that? Like, no, it's cringe to be criticizing people who are hustling.
And that's all for today's video.
Follow us on Spotify or subscribe to our YouTube channel trufflethoughts for new videos.
We're also on Instagram and TikTok at trufflethoughts.
Thanks so much for watching or listening to this video, and we'll see you next time.
Come for the truffle, stay for the thoughts.
Bye!